Hi, this is Tom from Tom and Ruth Philippine Adventures. Today I want to talk about jealousy here in the Philippines. You're going to have your Filipina girlfriend or wife or fiance. You're going to find that sometimes that she will get a little jealous, understandably so, because there are a lot of Filipinas that want foreign man, and you have, believe it or not, some women are dating Filipino that want, the Filipino want foreign ladies. But I had a couple questions this last week, actually more than a couple. I've had many people ask me about jealousy. American asked me, he says his wife is really jealous. He's really had a hard time with it. He says, if I had the problem and how I dealt with it. But I made it clear to my wife in the beginning, there's no jealousy. I don't want to hear it. If you get jealous, I don't change. If your attitude changes to see it changes, we'll have a talk. Because I'm an open person. I'm always happy. So I'm going to walk up to someone and I'm going to say, hi, how are you? How are you doing today? I mean, it's a simple, common thing that you do. I'd be sitting at a restaurant. Hi, how are you? And your Filipino will think that you're, oh, why did you say hi to her? Well, because that's what we do. That's our culture. Our culture does that. We sometimes can walk around down the road and we'll nod our head or do a wave. How many times you're driving down the road in America and you do the finger on the steering wheel, like that. And here it's different. Your Filipina does not want you to look at any other person other than her, and she wants you to always remember that she's 100% to you and you have to be to her. Well, that's great and fantastic, but sometimes as our culture is who we are, I don't care if you're Australian or German or Italian or whatever you are, you sometimes will just say hi. So you have to get it straight with her in the beginning. You just have to just come out with her in the beginning and say, listen, you get jealous, I'm sorry. I'm not seeing anybody, I'm not flirty with this person to see them in the future or whatever. It's just being common courtesy. Now, a Filipino will take it wrong sometimes. If a girl walks down the street in a skirt, well, do you look? Look, yeah. I mean, it's just, you look because it's there. You're not going to go around with closed eyes all the time. So your Filipina has to understand that you're not going to walk around with your eyes closed all the time. And if she cannot understand that, you have to tell her to understand it. That's just the way it is. If she don't understand it, well, you have to figure that on yourself and what you need to do. But Filipina, here in the Philippines, you have to tell her straight out. Listen, I'm not going to play games here. You just have to tell her. Now, my wife, I'm really lucky that way. She understood it in the beginning. I said, I'm not leaving you. I've devoted a year on the year and a half before I got here. Coming here and going back to America and coming back and going back to America before we got married and spent all the time. So it's not like I'm going to waste all that time. I'm going to waste all that for someone else. And I'm happy with you. I don't think so. So you just have to make her understand it. Listen, I'm with you 100%. But then on the other hand, she plays the tempo or the attitude of jealousy. You just have to just say, well, okay, if you're going to be that way, you better figure it out on your own. You better figure it out. Now, luckily, my friend here in town had that problem. He was telling me about it yesterday, and he told her the same, like me. She straightened it out in the beginning. If you start that, I'm not going to put up with it. I'm not going to put up with it. And he told her straight out, if you start that stuff and you come to me and that, I mean, I'll have a lot. At the funeral I was at the other day, I had probably, just people in general. Just some had never seen an American before. They come out of the mountain. Some never leave within a mile of their house. I mean, some literally live like that. There's a gentleman there, he harvests his rice, and he drinks alcohol the whole time when there's no harvest. And when it's harvest time and planting time, he'll stop drinking and he'll harvest. And then he goes back. And that's farmers here. That's what some do. Not all, but some. And they drink and have a good time because they work hard, and then the other 3 months or 4 months for another harvest, they drink. But a lot of people ask me questions. A lot of females come up to me and say, how are you? Like that. They just want to hear the American voice. They want to talk to you. So, and then Filipino will come. You'll find some people speak 100% English. I mean, in the group I was there the other day, they're college students and they speak English. Men and women, kids going to school. But with me, they just ask many questions. So I don't have the problem with jealousy. I did in the beginning. I have to say in the beginning when I first got here, because people will actually come up and they'll stop and stare. They'll just, like this. And I mean, obvious. I mean, you'll have one standing here, you have one standing here, you have one standing here, and you have one standing here. I went to the grocery store yesterday. I had 2 Filipinas. One was 70, and I don't know how old the other one was. She was young, just standing there. I couldn't even get down the aisle. The aisles are this big anyway. Little aisles, very little. I can't get down them anyway. I'm bigger than the aisle, okay? So I have to kind of walk sideways. So they just sit there and stare at you. They don't ask anything because they don't know English. They just sit there and stare. My wife comes around the corner and she just starts grinning. She says, "Oh, you got another 2 in the corner," like that. So she's finally realized that, and we tease about it. She says, "Tom, you got 2 more." I go, "I guess, I don't know," but you just have to, and it's something I had a hard time because I could not deal with it. I mean, sometimes I get I have many people that speak English ask me question on top of question for 30 minutes. Then you'll get the Filipino want to ask questions about just everything, So what you have to do is with your Filipina, you just have to set it straight with her. I'm happy with you. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not seeing anybody. I don't talk to anybody. I'm with you 100%. And let her know that. And if she starts her stuff, you just have to straighten it out. A lot of marriages have been ruined because of jealous. I mean, some Filipinos want a child immediately. A lot of marriages have been ruined because you did not clear that out in the beginning and say, hey, listen, I'm not going to have a child right now. Maybe in the future we'll talk about it. But there's things, you have to, as being an American coming here, you come in a different culture, and they're used to Filipino, okay, have a child. And then they'll have a child. And it's God's gift. And we all know that. But for sure, just make it clear with her that jealousy is not going to be something you're going to put up with in the beginning. If you don't, you're going to regret it. Man, you will regret it. I mean, I've seen, and I see it all the time, where Filipina here will actually ride in the cart, the tricycle driver, and she'll actually ride in the cart all day with him because she's jealous. Now why? I don't know. I don't know why. It's none of my business. But you see a lot of that. And not only young, but you'll see a 50-year-old or a 60-year-old woman and man, and his wife's riding in the front seat with him. Well, that offsets his money. So instead of him getting an extra passenger all day, he's got his wife with him all day. So it's not as if he's done anything in the past sometimes. I mean, it's just, you just have to be prepared that is going to come up. It will, I guarantee it. If you're dating a Filipina or talking to a Filipina, or your first time here and you've been talking to her 6 months or a year or 2 years on the internet, and you arrive here and you see a Filipina over there and she's got a short skirt on and no, bra showing, you're just gonna go, you're gonna look like that. It's not like, oh, I got her. Well, your Filipina's gonna think, oh, you know her? How come you stare at her like that? And they'll pin you down. So you will have to, you make sure, and I'm doing this video because I think I'm seeing a trend of Americans that did not make that clear. And I've had that happen just in this last month alone, many people, even Filipino, asked me, yesterday, what do I do? My wife is driving me crazy. And I said, you got to tell her straight out that you're not cheating. You don't even have a phone. How are you cheating? So you have to tell them straight out. You know, this gentleman doesn't even have a phone. He has no phone. He leaves the house. He goes to work. He carries bales of feed from one place to another. He's 50 years old, and his wife thinks that he's cheating all the time. He says, how in the world would I even see? I don't even see a girl. I see my wife when I leave the house, and I see my wife at home, and that's it. He said they furnish food at the place there, which most of the businesses do. They furnish you food. They give you food, lunch, snack in the morning, snack in the afternoon, and lunch. And they do that because it's part of their contract that you hire them to work there, and they feed you. Which is actually good business because you keep all the people there and they're not running back and forth, and they eat same time every day. You know, they'll have a set time that they eat, which is actually a good thing. But I'm going on and on this video, but I wanted just to know, and I think it's 11 minutes. That's most of it. I don't even know if it'll download. I got internet. I'm in the mountains, as you know, in Providence. It probably won't download, but if it does, remember that if you're anytime a foreigner, or whatever, or even Filipino, just make it clear to your wife or girlfriend, please, honey, I love you very much. I'm not going to see anybody else. I don't have anybody else. And always know that. And just make it clear to her in the beginning. And she will just love you forever. I mean, one thing I have to say, the difference with Filipino and the Western women, I mean, I'm no expert, that I find that some of the Western women are going to get mad at me saying this, that a Filipina will love you. If you find a good Filipina, she will love you to the day you die. And I mean, I'm talking love. I'm not talking, if she knows that your leg is aching, you will not know it, but she'll go get the massage oil and she'll rub your leg. And if she knows that. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, my American friend yesterday was telling me he was telling his wife, he says, honey, I don't, my shirts are torn. So he goes, like he tore a couple of his shirts, a couple of places, and he's telling me he goes to put them on, and they're already sewn up. And one had a little note in there, that she loves him. So if you find a good Filipina, the one, and you can find them anywhere. People say don't go to the city. You can go to the city and find a Filipina, a good Filipina. And some subscribers are going to say no, you cannot. Well, you know what? Yeah, you can. They're there too. Not everybody is rich. Not everybody's out to scam people, and not everybody is trying to take money from anybody they can. Everybody on this earth is looking for the same, a loving, caring relationship. And that's the reason I think that I had 17 messages yesterday just on my email of Americans wanting to come here and asking me many, many, many questions. And as you know, they ask one question, they'll ask 5 more on the same email. So, and I'll get that sometimes, people, and it'll go in spurts. But the jealousy thing has come up so much recently that I decided I'm just going to do a video on jealousy. So this may be a 2-part video on jealousy. But I just wanted to talk about it, and any of the foreigners thinking about coming here. Just if you're talking to anybody, wherever they're at, it does not matter where they're at. It's Filipina, just ask her, tell her immediately, listen, do you do tempo? Do you cop attitude? Do you go sit in corner, sit and pout? I mean, some of them sit 2-3 days a week, and if why put up with that, right? Because there's some that don't do it. So you just have to tell them, your wife or fiance, your girlfriend, that you just won't do it. All right, I'm rambling. Thank you for watching, and please hit subscribe.